Hmm,
Let's start. I think she has joined.
that's right.
Diksha, you there? Hello,
OG,
hi, Diksha. Hi, Diksha.
OGC, we can start because we are live.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. Firstly, a very happy Women's Day, and I welcome everyone to our Women's Day special webinar, Empowering Women, the Loudest Voices in the Music and Audio Business. Um, Today, we celebrate the indomitable spirit of women who are carving their path in the dynamic realm of the industry. With the theme hashtag Unstoppable Women, we honor the strength, creativity, and resilience of female professionals shaping the landscape of the industry. Join us as we celebrate the powerhouses, the trailblazers, and the visionaries who are not just making strides for setting the stage for a more inclusive and diverse industry. Let's champion their stories, amplify their voices, and pave the way for generations of women to come. Together, let's make every day a celebration of the incredible contribution of women in the industry. I welcome my esteemed speakers for today. Mamta Dhingra, founder, Lateral Truth to podcaster, Unbound with Mamta. We welcome you here today, ma'am. Rampa Banerjee, Head Marketing, Communication and Member Relations at ITRS. We welcome you, ma'am. Nani Singh, CEO of Showcase Events. We welcome you, Nani, ma'am.
Thank you.
Pratiksha Srivastava, singer, songwriter. We welcome you here today. So, hello to everybody, and a very happy Women's Day to everyone. So lovely to see you all here right now. So, I would like to know first that tell me what led tell me your empowered story. What led to you here right now? What is your success story?
Hi, thank you, Jasvi. Thanks for
Start,
the lovely
I'll
introduction.
start with Mamta.
Yeah, I've given myself the democratic right to speak first. But thank you so much. So I think many factors and many things, like how we popularly say it takes a village to raise a child. I think it takes a world to raise a woman. And for her to actually get to a point where she's unabashed, where she is totally unapologetic about dreaming, desiring, or achieving. Um, we are here to do great things, and obviously, those are not easy. And what has led to wherever in my journey today that I am, what has led to that is a lot of faith, a lot of trust, a lot of support of loved ones, of people, professionals, communities who have entrusted me with my caliber, talent, skill. A lot of, pull sometimes from my own story. So, popularly, I'm sure each one of us can go back and think through this, that, at some point or the other, someone must have said or seen something in you which even you didn't know, right? So I think for me, those uh, anecdotes have left a mark, where a teacher would say that, oh, you're going to make this fantastic at this, or a colleague will say, oh, you've got it in you, or a brother will say that, oh, you'll go places. So these are the sounds uh, of like the resonances that have kind of pulled me uh, through in my journey. Because each time I would give up on myself, either I look back on those incidents, or I would have someone say it from my environment that, no, you are cut out to do more, or why are you taking it easy, or why are you being complacent? So like I said, that it is a world of people, loved ones, communities, professionals, associates, who really, families who really are behind the success of a woman.
Yeah, definitely. Nani, ma'am, on to you.
I thought we were going in the order and now it was Rumpa's turn. That's why I was happily sitting on mute. So happy Women's Day to you too, Ojasvi, and thank you for this initiative. It's very, very interesting, and I'm glad that we are the selected few who are here. I have no idea what we're going to be talking about, but yes. So talking about our journey, I guess the number of years that we are today and where we stand today, that itself is experience. It's a lot of experience that's gone into our lives as a mother, as first as a daughter, then as a wife, and then a daughter-in-law, then a mother. So we've also grown along the years. We also learned a lot, right? And then also not just all these roles, also to be us. So that's
Yeah.
that I feel, along the journey, that's something we all tend to forget, that we exist, and we stop living, we just keep existing. We move from one role to the other without even realizing that we've transitioned, and then suddenly we realize that we are what age we are, and then what have we done? I don't say we brought up wonderful kids. Is that my only achievement? Am I satisfied with it? Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. So I think I've just been a very restless soul from the start, and it hit me very hard when I turned 50. I mean, I've been always doing something or the other, but it hit me really hard when I reached 50. And I said, all these years I've been a mother, a daughter, daughter-in-law, wife, everything I've done. A good friend, done parties, hosted, went to people, everything is done. So where do I stand? What am I doing? Have I done anything that has any kind of an impact? When I sleep at night, am I happy? And that is what led to the genesis of showcase events. And I said, if I'm so passionate about something that I do, create a platform, respect for the artists in the industry, create a platform where I can do something more with music, do something for charity. Like, I don't know. I wake up every morning, I just know there's just so much to do. And I sleep at night and my head is ticking that, gosh, I have to finish this X amount of things. So, like I said, I'm not calculating, I'm not counting. And of course, like very rightly Mamta said, that, nothing is possible without support from everyone around you. But yes, if you have to break the glass ceiling, you just got to step on it. You can't wait for people to come and do it for you. You got to do it yourself. And I think that's my one very clear mission in my head. And I can go on and on, but I'm going to hand it back to you.
Oh, great, great. Rampa, to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ojasvi, and thank you, Loudest and E4M, for making this happen today. And yeah, and thank you for inviting us to be on the panel. So where it started and and how I'm where I am today. So it has been very interesting. So I will say that, see, like everything starts from your family, the family you belong, the city you belong to. So for me, it has been kind of wonderful because I come from like West Bengal, Kolkata, and since my childhood, I have seen that in my family, my parents, I have never been kind of told that you are like a girl or you need to do this. This is your role. So I have always been pushed to make myself in terms of studies, in terms of my extracurricular activities, and they have raised me as a very confident woman. I have two brothers also, and I have seen in my family that there was no discrimination between my brothers and me as a girl. So I believe that those are the formative stages of your life. Those are the foundation of your life. And what we need very much today is the society and your family and your relatives, the city, I mean, the mohalla you belong to, where you will not be judged. Because I have seen a lot of women, they have a lot of capabilities, but they lack confidence because they always fear being judged. So I think that is the reason where I could do like little whatever like I could do because I was always pushed to be self-sufficient and be good at what I'm doing, whether I'm successful or not successful. That my job or my work or the people I'm working with will decide. But I have been always told to be honest, be hardworking, and be good at give your best to whatever you do and never doubt yourself. So I think that is very important. And I'm thankful to everyone who has been with me, supported me unconditionally. And yes, yeah, that and the rest was my experience, my journey. And not to give up. Yeah, why? Always asking those questions, not being afraid that why I am doing what I am doing. Why are you telling me to do this? And not being stereotyped. Yes, just Just go out, express yourself, be confident, and yes, and the world will be yours. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
what I.
the perfect example you all have set for the unstoppable women. Pratiksha, on to you. Hi, are you there?
Hi, can you hear
Pratiksha.
me?
Hi, hi.
Hi.
Yes, you have it.
Just, I think your voice is cracking a little bit. Can you repeat, please, or just say?
A very happy Women's Day to you.
Yeah, happy Women's Day to all of you. Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us about your success story.
Success story. Okay, first of all, highly apologize for all the construction noises. I really can't help it. But yes, talking about just my story, which is a journey, a very beautiful journey it has been. I am a singer songwriter, and I belong to a family deeply rooted in Indian classical music. My grandparents and parents have a music school back in Lucknow. I'm based out of Mumbai, but I am from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. So I started there. I started learning Indian classical and Kathak and tabla initially. Then later I became a very studious person, and I like was very much into studies. And then I did this reality show called Little Champs in 2009 when I was 10 years old. After that, I realized that okay, this is the other part of music. One part which I have been with brought in terms with two terms with is this learning part, Indian classical music. This other part is this show business part, which I saw at a very young age. I saw a glimpse of it. But again, I was back to studies. But in 2018, I shifted to Mumbai and I decided that I want to do playback singing. That's how I started. I was 19 years old, and it was a very tough call for my family because in Lucknow it's like it's not a very common practice to send people, forget girl or boy, to send people so far away at a very young age of 18 or 19 into this industry where you have no contacts, no links. But my mother did, and then my father believed. So my mother had to really push, but then everybody was very supportive. And I started my journey here as a playback singer, but then later, I don't know, somehow that it was a very transitional period of switching to independent music. So somehow I would say that things didn't go well because I didn't get many opportunities or however it was. But later I realized that I can make my own music and I should do that. And once I started doing that, I think it has been a very very beautiful journey, and now I write my own songs and make my own music. So yeah, that's it.
Wow, that's great. That's great. That was amazing. So I would like to ask you all that how can female musicians and industry professionals advocate for themselves in a male-dominated field to ensure fair representation and opportunities? Do you guys face any challenges regarding this in your journey? Money man, on to you first.
Yeah, one second, Jasvi, your voice was cutting. So a bit choppy, so I missed out your full question.
My voice is not audible right
No,
now.
it is. Yeah, now it's better. It was a
Now,
bit choppy, so I missed out on certain words that you said.
yeah, I'll just repeat my question then.
Yeah.
Wait. Mm, just So, my question now is that how can female, musicians and the industry professional advocate for themselves in a male-dominated, field to ensure fair representation and opportunities? What challenges you all faced in your journey till now? Do you face any, the pressure and the kind of things happen in the industry? What all challenges do you face? Nani ma'am, on to you first.
Okay. So, yes, I have to admit that it is a male-dominated industry. I'm talking now
Yeah.
from the events perspective, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely a male-dominated industry, and the difference comes in the fact that, like just this morning, I was having this conversation with somebody, and we said, as women, we think differently. We are
Mhm.
more creators,
Yeah.
and they have a bigger business sense. It's,
Mhm.
I think, just our DNA. It's not that women don't have a business sense, they do. But we have a more creative business sense, and they have a more commercial business sense. And
Mhm.
when you're doing a professional, you're doing running a business, you definitely need a commercial business sense also. So I feel at the end of the day, the way I have seen the industry or the way it has worked for me, I can give you my personal example. I think it's been exceptionally complimenting in the
Mhm.
sense that I have learned a lot. I have to say that my male colleagues have taught me a lot. They have stood by me, and they have they have explained how things can work differently if I just modify a few things. I don't have to get emotional. Like, as women, our innate quality is getting emotional.
Emotional.
Like, drop of a hat, we'll get very senti, we'll get emotional, and then we start getting involved, and like, and then always trying to be like, play the good cop, because that's how we've all grown up, right? At home, you don't want an issue, you don't want any tussles, so just like let things be. So don't push things under the carpet. Face them as they are and move on. Because unless you do that, you will not be able to make progress. So then, now again, taking that next step, support and complementing each other is very important. Uh, and vice versa. There are many times I've had my male event colleagues calling up and saying, "Hey, listen, ye event hai. Can you just help me? I just think up of a nice idea that I can propose to them," because it's not coming to them naturally. So it works both ways, Ojasvi. But also, when it comes to getting the events and kind of operating, I think it's your skill set.
Mm-hmm.
It seriously is your skill set. If you're good at it and you have confidence in yourself and your team, I don't think that it takes anything to break that glass ceiling, as I always call it. It really takes nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So unless until you have confidence in yourself and you have the passion to drive that confidence,
Mm-hmm.
you can always, you can blame the whole world for whatever's going right or wrong in your life. And I don't think the world really matters. It's about you. It's about who you are. So,
Mm-hmm.
of course, there are situations, there are times. I mean, some of us have been fortunate enough to be us. Some of us don't have the opportunity to be us all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But make an effort, at least take a chance. You got to get there somewhere.
Definitely, definitely. On to you,
So it
Mamta.
has to be complementing support. It's not that we are fight.
Yeah,
There's not a male bashing session, so we're not fighting. But yes, I mean, as women, we got to make our own place. You don't
definitely.
want to be run over.
Run over. Yeah. Mamta, on to you. Yeah.
I think the only thing that perhaps is lacking is the precedence.
Yeah.
In popularly, if you look at Bollywood or indie pop music or audio industry, I mean, I would not say there is any dearth of talent. There certainly isn't. We have seen equal number of vocalists. Lata ji and Asha Bhosle ji has obviously led the domain. When you talk about playback singing, they're the foremost names that come to your mind. Forget the gender.
Yeah.
So the only thing is that there are very far and few examples of any precedence that has been set by women because they have not done it. So it's kind of a conditioning that has rooted very deeply that maybe we can't do it.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that narrative is correct. This generation and the generations before also, I mean, if we go back as the times of Usha Khanna or Jadan Bai or Saraswati Devi, they all have made it, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
But and there could be some reality to the fact that perhaps skilling, so technical knowledge, maybe the lack of passing on of that technical knowledge from the male domination in the sector to women. So I think it's a good question that you ask that why, but the thing is that it doesn't limit to that. I think if there is any right time to do it, the time is now.
Yeah.
And this generation, I mean, coming specifically from the understanding of content creation, because I'm a podcaster, we are seeing equally popular creators on the block. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Kushak Pillai, or any the likes, they all are making a mark. So perhaps what has not happened is just passing down of that skill, which is kind of so the narrative internally that women have built is because nobody has done it. So maybe we are not either supposed to, meant to, or can't do it.
Yeah.
However, with the right kind of skill, technical knowledge, a belief in their competence and talent, I don't think it is any longer a limiting, should be a limiting belief.
Definitely, definitely. Rampa, on to you now.
Yeah, what I have observed that I feel is that as women, we think too much
Mm-hmm.
because so for a man, if you see, I don't think, yeah, he might feel sad if you like tell him that you're not a good husband or you're like you don't have too much time for your wife or your kids or your family. But he will kind of tell you that, see, I'm providing for the family, I'm giving you such a wonderful, comfortable life. So that is my role that I am playing, and hence we have to kind of adjust a bit. So he will not go and feel sad about it. But I think as women, we try to balance every part, every role, every corner, and try to be best in everything we are doing. And like in my life, I have seen that, suppose like I have been working since the time I am out of college, and it has been over 25 years I'm working. And what I have done is that I have always tried to give my family, my son, quality time when like over the weekend or wherever I could contribute in a much more meaningful way. And I think that has also helped them to grow as a more kind of like wholesome individual. So a woman has to find out that how do I play my role in my life and in my career, instead of thinking too much that am I being judged, am I not a good wife, am I not a good like a mother, or am I not a good daughter-in-law? Because your family will always feel proud if you're doing well in your career also. Have that open chat with your family that what you want to do. Because it's very unhealthy for the family also to have a person or a kind of a person who is managing the family, but she's utterly upset and sad because she is not being able to do or fulfill her career, like career dreams. So it is very important. And because we have not, and if you see, always women till now has been choosing roles where she could manage her personal life and her professional life. Hence, lot of time women restrict them to roles where she can balance both family and work. And this has been the trend. Women have not gone all out into roles where she might have to spend a lot of time outside, or she might have to work odd hours. And that is the reason in the music industry also you will see women are mostly confined to roles as performers, or you will see a lot of lyricists now coming up. But when it comes to music composition, you will not see too many people, or sound engineers, because those demand odd hours and long work hours. So, and because we have always kind of restricted ourselves to those roles where we can manage our family and our career, the society also has built it in there. It's a mindset for the society also that if you are a lady, there was a time in like 70s, 80s, or even like early 2000 when women used to choose like the profession of teaching, school teacher, because if you are a school teacher, you can manage both the roles.
Home.
So the society also thinks like it not like might not be convenient to have a woman in a role that like which demands long working hours. So we have also not got those opportunity because we have only defined what we can do and what we want to do. But today I don't think that is like the society is changing, the family mindset is changing. So we should always have an open conversation. And as like Nandini ma'am said, if you're good at something, as Mamta also said, that if you're good at something, it's your skill set, your talent. Nobody can stop you. So
Yeah.
just don't hold yourself. Just go all out, and things will fall in. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is. I
definitely.
think that is what is very important.
Yeah, that was amazing. Pratiksha, on to you now.
I think I am very fortunate that I am in this age and period where I can really do a lot of things. Even I started as a singer, and I didn't think that honestly that it was a woman's job also to compose and write songs. Forget music production; that's a technical thing. And I'll tell you my thing. I can easily do all of this today because I have any and every platform to learn and to publish. Right, but I have just started doing music production. Not that I was scared of doing it, or I didn't have means, but it was just a notion in my head कि हाँ ठीक है मैं आई एम डूइंग सिंगिंग सॉन्ग राइटिंग प्रोडक्शन तो कोई कर ही लेगा मेरा ये फ्रेंड या मेरा वो फ्रेंड कर लेगा आई हैव सीन this word called curiosity of my I don't want to generalize it, but there's this curiosity of my male counterparts to just make a song completely on their own and try and test things even if they are not good at it. They will just sit and they'll just sit like a geek, and they will sit there for hours and hours and hours. They don't care अगर वहां पानी गिर गया है. you know I'm just saying an example. वो उठ के भागेंगे नहीं. या if my sister enters, अरे तुमने कुछ खाया कि नहीं, अच्छा उधर क्या हो रहा है, अच्छा इसको ऐसे रख देती हूँ वैसे कर देती हूँ. No, they'll just sit and they'll focus and they'll try and test things out, and they're not afraid to do that. They're not afraid to test their skills and be a fool. They don't care about anything else in this room. Then it's just one thing that's there in front of them, and I lack that. I'm everywhere. And it's not just me. I've seen with most of my female counterparts, it's not just me. So I then realized that again this curiosity that I had to build in myself. How would I do that? Because I have been born and brought up and seen my mother like this. She's a working woman and she's everywhere. She feels guilty about any and everything. I don't know why, but that's a very deep conditioning, as all the ladies here said. So how do I develop this curiosity? Then I realized that I'm not aware. I have YouTube. I have internet
Mm.
access. I can learn anything. I have to be aware what is going behind the song. If I'm on the stage and performing, how is that sound reaching me? There is this person on FOH. Even if I don't have to learn how to do live mixing, I can at least understand those terms so that I can communicate with him that I need this, I need that. You tell me how can we make this relationship of me on stage and you on the console better. That awareness, that knowledge. Or my music producer, I need this, I need this kick, I need this bass line, I want this type of a sound, this type of a genre, these type of instrumentations. At least that awareness, if I start from there, then definitely people in the room are going to listen to me. When my music producer knows that she doesn't know anything about music production, तो हाँ ये इसने गाना बना दिया, अब इसका काम खत्म है, अब मैं अपना काम करूंगा, because he knows that I don't know that. But if he sees me talking about those things, then he is definitely saying, आओ इधर आके बैठो, मुझे बताओ what do you want. And from there we start. I think so. That's how I started. So this awareness and then that leading to curiosity is very, very important for females musicians.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It was just amazing to see how far women have come in the industry and doing so well for themselves. So, my next question would be regarding mentorship. I think how can mentorship and support networks be utilized to empower women in the, in the industry and help them navigate the complexities of visibility and representation? What do you think about that? I'll go with Rampa first.
Yeah, see, this is extremely important because, like as Mamta has like had mentioned initially, that the lack of precedence.
Mm-hmm.
So, so as an industry, we need to come together to help each other. So, like where we are lacking today is so everybody is left in their own silos. So if I am a creator, I am in my city, I'm making music, but I'm not sure whom to reach out to. And
Mm-hmm.
as a women from our childhood, we are taught that the place outside the house, like home, is very unsafe. So for a woman, she also doesn't know whom to reach out to, whom to collaborate with you, like for her career or for her music. And if somebody is helping her, I have seen it in my like for myself also. If somebody is genuinely helping me, I start doubting that why
Yeah.
is this person helping me so much? Does he
Hmm.
have something else in mind and will he come back asking for that once the thing is done? So it is
Yeah.
very important for the industry and like people in the industry who are already successful. So there are a lot of women who have already done it. So we should have also media playing a very big role in
Definitely.
highlighting more of those success story and how they have done it and give them a platform. Like today you're doing this discussion. It's a wonderful start and an initiative where there should be more discussions and platforms who are highlighting women's stories or things how they are done in like respective field of work so that the women creator or the women in the music business also gains confidence because as I said in our mind we have stereotyped ourselves that this role is not for me, maybe
Hmm.
this will not be safe for me. So we need more kind of success stories and highlighting of how things happen in the industry, break lot of myths because we know film industry, entertainment industry. If you're working in the film industry, if you're working in the entertainment industry, people always think, okay, I don't know what will happen to you. You're in a very unsafe place to work.
Hmm.
Breaking those myths is also equally important and consciously pushing for equal representation.
Hmm.
So like what I mean by that is not just talking about it that hey we need more representation from women, we need more representation in specific roles in the industry, but consciously pushing for that. If you see a lot of big brands today are pushing for equal representation in their workforce and they kind of judge or kind of like judge those like organization. It's a good organization, it is gender equal organization. Same should happen in the music industry and in the entertainment industry also. Last year like there was a kind of a, in the European Union project first wave, it's a body. like a special body formed to promote music, international collaborations, and equal representation. So they had introduced the concept of gender balanced music.
Oh,
So
wow.
the conscious effort was that when a song is being made, the song, the role. So the sing, so it should not be that only the singer is a female and we say, hey, I am having female representation in my music. No, you should have representation from also the less chartered areas of work in that song, like song being made. Say, is there a sound engineer? Is there a music producer? Is there a composer or some of the fields like arranger, because you don't see much arrangers. So, consciously pushing for equal representation and creating a gender balanced music and promoting those gender balanced music to encourage participation from all the less chartered areas of work in the music industry. So, I think these kind of initiatives will encourage more people and also consciously finding out talent. So,
Hmm.
now today, big music labels, music publishers, or bodies who are investing in the music business, they should kind of have initiatives to go into the markets and identify talent. If there is, suppose there is like less talent, why there are less sound engineers? Can I have education programs to promote that? That is also important. How do I encourage more female to participate in those roles? So these are very important things, I think, which we should now start doing. So we are having a lot of panel discussions on highlighting what is not happening. But it's time that brands or institutions or people in the industry who are driving the business of music take initiatives to make it happen now.
Yeah.
And if you see most of these panel discussions today, I was like talking to Vicky. Vicky is a board of women in the kind of entertainment industry. It's a body formed of women entrepreneurs. So I was talking to them in West Bengal. So I'm part of that body. So they
Hmm.
are saying we never have this kind of panels and discussions in West Bengal. We never had this. So I have a friend who is in the animation industry. She's saying I
Oh,
have no two-person working in the animation business. Why there is no animation, like female working in the animation business in West Bengal? So a lot of
hmm.
things are happening here in the metro, say in Gurgaon, Delhi, Mumbai, some may be happening in Bangalore. But what about the other cities, other places in India? Because music and entertainment in India is all over. Are efforts being taken to go into those remote corners and bring out the talent from there? Or is it only restricted to specific roles like singers only? So I think let us all work to like towards making this change happen.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Nani ma'am, do you want to you now?
So I think what Rupa has said is the most inspirational,
Additional.
motivational portions of this entire panel. So when you
Yeah,
talk about mentorship, I think the maximum learning happens from experience,
yeah.
right? And what she said very rightly, if you pick up success stories of different types of women, since we're talking about women, you pick up success stories of different types of women from different fields of life. Every woman will I be able to identify some part of her journey with that woman. And out of like even all of us sitting over here, I know how many new things I've learned today. So age is just a number. Every day we are picking up more and more how to become stronger from within. And unless until we are strong from within, we will never be able to get our representation. So mentorship starts and happens all the time. It's at every stage. But yes, on a conscientious level, I think mentorship is very, very important because another person's experience always will have a lot of lessons for you. Then there are opportunities in our lives that keep coming, right? And my own standard mindset, it took me a while to build my own mindset, and I teach my team that as well, is that every opportunity is a learning.
Hmm.
Don't think if you haven't, suppose you haven't cracked a contract, that's not a lost opportunity. That's
Hmm.
a learning opportunity. That's fine. You don't have to win every contract, right? So at every stage, and I'm happy to share that, well, happy, or we can take it in any other way, but we are an all women's team at showcase events.
Oh, wow.
It's not that we've made any major conscientious effort,
Mm-hmm.
but we did hire guys in between. Maybe we were just not lucky enough to have some of the best guys joining us. or they were overpowered and they were kind of intimidated by the
Yeah.
skill set of the women, that their performance was not up to what the girls were producing. The kind of focus, the kind of passion, and the multi skill set that the women have, that's not common in every, and I'm not saying men don't have it. Like, I mean, Pratiksha mentioned also, and that's very true, Pratiksha. It's not that it's a male centric thing. It's a very straight line.
Yeah.
You're just thinking of that only. Like,
Mm.
I don't know if you've heard, there used to be this very, very stupid joke floating around that this guy and girl, sorry, I'm taking away from this, but the boyfriend and the girlfriend, they're sitting in the car. And so, sorry, the husband and wife sitting in the car, and this guy is like really sarawa at that point of time, and his head is like he's making faces and he's mumbling under his breath and stuff like that. And she's like, and her mind is saying that, oh God, like, I think he has another woman in his life and he doesn't love me anymore. And so her exactly like overthinking. She's
Hmm.
thinking in that line. This guy's thinking in his own line, and then they finally open up the bubble and they show what the both of them were thinking. India had lost the match the previous night.
Hmm.
This guy was sulking in his head about how badly we had batted, and if we batted better, we could have done better. And he's mumbling away, sorrowing away. She's trying to talk to him, and he's being rude to her. He's not answering her. She had almost reached a point when she thought that when we batted and we get out of the car, she'll be divorced. So it is like overthinking to another level. So,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is now this was it was an episode that floated around all over, but this was a big learning for our own selves out of this. So that's what I'm trying to say is that out of everything in life, it's up to you how much you want to take. We can have these mentorship sessions, we can have a lot of talks, we can have inspirational, motivational, we can listen to podcasts, I mean, excellent stuff on podcasts as well, right? Absorb what you can and make that your strong point. And I think that's really, really important. So I think
Really,
if
really.
you
Yeah.
start putting these things out through the media, I think yes, it's good for all of us,
Yeah.
not just for the younger lot that's coming in. It's good for all of us as well.
Definitely, definitely. Pratiksha, on to you now.
Hi, so I believe you were talking about networking and how
Yeah,
do we
that's
network, sorry,
yeah.
network away. So for me, I'll share what I have seen, observed, and experienced. That I used to think that there were so many teachings. You have to approach like this, you have to talk like this, do like this, things A to Z, right? But when this independent scene, independent music boomed, I
Hmm.
realized that if I am just sharing my work link, or if I am playing my song or singing, whatever it is, then I'm going to catch the ear of that person. Because at any social gathering or any such meeting, I've always seen that it's very okay, it's at some level until I have played a song. They
Hmm.
are always just waiting. They're actually waiting to hear your work at any
Yeah.
position or level. And now it's such a beautiful time that they are just really, they are not even asking me who has done this, who has done that. They say, what have you brought, what are you making? There's a change in language also. What have you made? Play that to me, play your music to me, right? And then they listen to you, and after that, it obviously depends on how you approach things, your attitude and your knowledge, which is very important of everything, royalty se leke everything till the
Every.
release. But yeah, I've always seen that काम bolta hai, and people at that level are ready to listen to you first, ready to listen to your work, and they really appreciate and respect whatever you are doing. So they are all ears for the work. If you have grabbed their attention with your work, then they'll sit down, you can talk, you can work things out. In that also there are many ups and downs, but again, if I really talk about mentorship and everything, the YouTube, again, I would say, is a very, very good place, and there
Good.
are so many workshops happening. I recently attended about royalties, different kinds of royalties, and all these people at any label head or anybody, they are constantly doing these conferences and workshops and everything. So much is happening just
Yeah.
to propagate and expand and share that knowledge with everybody. So why can't we just absorb that, and why can't we keep that in mind while networking also? We cannot, I have always understood that I cannot present myself like, "अरे sir, मैं तो ये तो मेरा पहली बार है. This is my first time. You tell me what to do." No, no, no. I have to be very, very aware of what I'm stepping into.
Hmm.
Then only I see the other person really being interested in what they are talking. If I don't know what I'm talking about, there is no point of networking. If I don't know what my music is and what it's supposed to happen with that, because that is my forte, right? The rest of the things are his forte or her forte. But if I don't know what my music is saying and doing, and if I immediately change my stance, नहीं नहीं हाँ इसको ऐसे, या मे बी इसको ऐसे पूरा बदल लेंगे and अपना पूरा soundscape ही change कर दूंगी मैं, so the other person is also not convinced कि अरे okay, I don't agree with her, but she also does not agree with her music. She changed quickly. So that awareness, that confidence, and yeah, that thing that I have all my work ready to
Mm.
present to them like a professional, I think that really speaks.
Speaks. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Mamta, on to you now.
So I have few different point of views here. One, because I come from a public
Audience.
relations industry
Yeah.
and a podcast industry. So my pedigree and training is PR, as you know.
Mm.
And for a professional who is trying to make any kind of a dent in a PR industry or communication industry, networking is like the first step into the door, and it is absolutely critical, absolutely pivotal to even have that be done in a right way, because that's your first impression into any room that you walk in. Having said that, that's obviously not something that will carry you through and throughout, because ultimately it's your work, like how Pratiksha just said. Um, for me, networking has played a very large part and role in getting where I am today. However, that networking also has an organic way of happening and an inorganic way of happening, right? So there are actually official and renowned forums where you can go and register yourself and be very purposefully networking, because you want to generate work, you want to generate visibility for yourself. This is as far as PR and comms industry I'm talking about. But yes, a lot of things happen by invite, a lot of things happen from network, off network as well. And what more can be so beautiful, like in today's digital age, that we have so many of such forums now available online as well. So music industry, as I see in retrospect or even today, is a lot still driven by personal bias,
Mm.
honestly. It is a lot about personal relationship preferences, recommendations, which is not bad, if because it's still talent driven nonetheless, right? So it should definitely be on the basis of your merit, and then getting a right mentorship or any sort of training or upskilling, or kind of guidance. If there are more formalized routes to that, that's what will actually see inclusion from many diverse subsets. Saying women in music is not the end of it. Now, if I were to talk about tribals or tribal music, or tribal folk art or folklores and all, they have not made to mainstream for some reason. This morning, the news says that Carol G, she's the first Latina who's been named as the Woman of the Year at Billboard ceremony. So
Mm.
we still have a lot of underrepresentation, not only basis on the bias of the gender, but that inequality or inclusion that we are talking about at the boardroom level. I think it's high time that music also sees that kind of a corporatization, if not in the setup but in the mindset of people. That, like how Rumpa also very well said, that this has to be a very intentional way of including that. Okay, are we leaving any talent behind, and if so, then why are we doing that? Is it on our personal bias? Is it on our own preferences? Is it because I know someone? Why are we only seeing more of the same? Why are we hearing more of the same voices? Then where is that bias limiting us? But networking, definitely, I think it's a very it can be, if done well and appropriately, can be a very formal and a very appropriate way of positioning yourself too,
Mm.
and could be a good start. But where what will take you through, of course, is your own merit, is your own talent, is your own skill,
Mm,
finally. Yeah.
definitely, definitely. As I just listened to Rampa ma'am and Nani ma'am, as you were saying that media today in today's time plays a very pivotal role, in this. So I would like to like you to ask that what role does media business plays in shaping the visibility of women in the industry, and how can media outlets be more inclusive and supportive of female voices? The media supports feminism, and what all you think about that, the media business? Pratiksha, you tell me first.
Actually, I've never like really thought about the media business. Yeah, I just think that I just have this, this thing constantly in my head every time that whenever we are talking about top songs, whether independent or Bollywood or Tollywood, if I see a list, top 10, top 15, I just have somehow I see they are all male songs every time. Okay, every time. And if there is a female presence over there, it's like a feature in a song, sung two lines maybe. I'm just saying, and in independent scene there is nothing really of that sort. I don't know, somehow, like if we talk about the hip hop culture, especially today, because hip hop culture is booming right now, and there's a lot of craze and buzz for hip hop in the media, and there is a lot of articles that I see each and every day about hip hop and everybody booming and this and that. But yeah, again, I mean, time and again, I realize that from instrumentalists to rappers to singers, if you see, and even the rock music, if you see, women are one of the pioneers,
Hmm.
but we don't know that, we don't realize that. And it's like कि अरे अच्छा लड़कियां भी ऐसा करती हैं. It's like that. How did it come to that point? How did it reach that point? Women were one of the initial people to play a lot of instruments, to sing a lot of genres, even in Indian classical music. If we
Hmm.
talk about the Tawayafs and all, everybody, there was so much happening culturally also in music, and in Western music, rock, jazz, violin, everything. But somehow there is no sort of visual what I would say presentation that okay, women are doing this. I don't know how did it reach that point that even the facts are not available
She's having a network issue, I think.
I think she's frozen.
Hmm.
I can add to that narrative actually.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, you add to it.
Mind, yeah. So
Yeah.
see, again, coming from, and this kind of takes me back to my roots, which is well
Hmm.
instated in PR.
Hmm.
I think media does have a huge responsibility to share and shoulder here, because वो कहते हैं ना, जो दिखता है वो बिकता है.
Hmm.
The more that you are creating that hoopla around a specific gender, around a specific subset and set of people or talent, the more it will keep getting promoted, and the lesser the more less of what you'll keep repeating, the chances are even it'll keep trickling down and eventually might even fade away those stories. So as to what Pratiksha was very well articulating around the Tawayaf cultures or the mujras and all, which were all led by women, and the base of it was always music, good music, classical music, aesthetics, etc. So if that storytelling or narrative has never been built, I think this is just the right time, because media is so much democratized now. There are so many self-publishing platform which goes so much in favor of artists and talent. There are so many self-promotion platform, be it Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta. I think this is the time, and that's what the age of digital has done to us, that it has kind of given all of us a right to be the creators and the publishers and the promoters of our own story. When you do believe in your own skill and you do push it out to that level, and that's exactly what I have even done with Unbound, because they will never be takers who are always ready. Sometimes you have to create a market for yourself, because they've never known that something like this has existed, so they will never know till the time you will push out those stories. And media definitely has to work in sync. It has to work very conscientiously, like how Nani has also been mentioning it again and again, to make that orchestrated effort, that if this is a storyline and I am running something on women's special or as a music piece, then does this story get equally balanced with the woman voice in it or not? So I think that representation, one we have to call out for as creators ourselves, as people who are talent in the industry, and media also has to work in support conjunction as a collaborator, that any story, any editorial with any feature that they are doing on the industry, on the sector, has an equal share of voice coming from the other gender too.
Yeah, definitely. Ramba, what you will add to that?
You're unmute.
You're not audible.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, so today we are in a very wonderful space because in the last few years, the entire media business, PR, your promotion, publicity has changed drastically. So on like one end, you have your traditional PR, the style of traditional PR through print and your mainstream articles, blogs, and all those things. And on the other end, you have the social media. Today, social media is also playing a big role in building a brand and doing the PR. So when we are working on these two different kind of mediums, there has to be a conscious effort to work on these two very differently. So coming to the traditional and the mainstream journalistic PR and the media business, see, music is very fascinating, but unfortunately for a common man or for anyone, music is always seen as a performance, has been seen as a performance. So the person who is singing it or the person who is performing it, that is how music is perceived. But I think today is a high time now to also highlight what goes behind the making of music and where women is playing a role in that part of the music business and where she is not, why she is not. That needs to be highlighted very kind of consciously through media stories. Suppose if in a particular area there is no representation of women, then media
Mm.
should start doing those stories. For example, I'll give you a very fascinating fact which has come out from our database. Um, Today, there is a FICCI report which has come out, which is highlighting on like media and entertainment, which Ernst Young has done it, and it was released 2 days back, which says that in India, one of the most popular music languages is Punjabi.
Oh,
Punjabi is trending not only in India, and it's
yeah.
a fact we are all aware of, like globally also. But you will be stunned to hear that out of like 900 plus, almost 1,000 female creators in IPRS database, we have just 16 female creators from Punjab.
Oh,
Isn't it shocking?
yeah.
Shocking, really shocking. Music, Punjabi music is kind of ruling the world, and we just have 16
16.
creators enrolled from Punjab. Last year, last to last year, December, we had done a workshop with all our members in Punjab. We had a room of nearly like 200 members joining from Punjab for that workshop. We didn't have one single female creator in the room.
Mm.
So these are some glaring facts. So the media, mainstream, national media, the regional media, they should start taking interest, talking to the relevant stakeholders in the industry that why my market is lagging behind. And the encouraging number comes from like 1 so regional is a term which people are not like we don't but just to kind of numbers come from one more regional market, West Bengal. We have 120 creators from West Bengal out of the 900 plus members enrolled. So few markets, the visibility of women are growing and they are, and the major market is obviously the kind of the market we are sitting here, Hindi and the West market. But
Mm.
Bengal is so advanced in terms of like women representation. So I think media should now take interest in doing stories like this, where they are highlighting the very pertinent issues and the things happening behind just singing or the song they are listening to. And, and I, as like already said, showcasing the success stories of people who have done it, how they have done it, so that more female in the industry are gaining confidence. Also, not only music creation, in the music business,
Mhm.
how many like in leadership roles in the music industry, in the music business. There are not many women in leadership roles in the
Yeah,
music
true.
industry. That is also a thing to ponder upon. We are still stuck to some like some specific roles in the industry. Now coming to social media has to be more responsible. I was talking to one of my very popular female creator from the Northeast. I don't want to take the name, but her song had gone viral. So there were comments on the post saying that the song is viral because they look beautiful. They are saying that the song is viral because they look beautiful. So I think we should come out seeing a woman only by the skin. Her talent, people should dive deep into consider her talent. Today also when women get a promotion, people always think, oh, she needs to get promotion. She comes with lot of yeah. She in the office she's so kind of
Yeah.
dashy and good looking. I think as a society, as a like everything, like a woman should be judged by her talent and not so like when on social media we see such things as conscious citizens and all, we should go and kind of talk against it. See the talent, see her singing, see her performance, see her music. Don't judge her how she look or how she's on stage.
Yeah.
That is always it happens. A man is never judged. I was reading an article where they were saying that if a man just stands with a guitar on stage, nobody judges him. But
Yeah.
a woman has to look good on stage. Why is this compulsion for a woman? So much
Yeah.
of burden on her to look good. Why? Even when a woman is coming for an interview or anywhere, she's first judged by her look. That should stop. A woman should now be judged by her talent.
Hmm. So,
Yeah. I think that is important, and the media will definitely play a very
imperative.
So
big
I'm
role
going to
here.
add to that as well, and I think this is very interesting. Both Mamta and Rumpa brought up some very important points, which is typically amplification of the content.
Yeah.
And that is where media plays a major role.
Right.
Collaborations, everything else comes under that. So if you can amplify the messages out, I think that itself, see, what is the role of media? Media can make a person, can break a person.
Make the
We've
person.
seen that in the best of situations, and Mamta is here from the PR industry, and she is the best person to even respond to something like this, right? I have seen how media has helped positively and built a person, and I've also seen how media for a normal human being has worked negatively and has brought them down. So, I mean, it is ruthless, right? But on the other hand, it is also such a powerful tool. So it totally depends on how it's being utilized and how it's being used. When it comes to women, amplify the stories of successful women like we spoke about. I think that's like really, really an important point. And it's, okay, now this is, we've been talking about the music industry. I will tell you from the events and entertainment industry. One of my events in Singapore, what super impressed me about my entire team in Singapore, I had women on the team that were climbing up on the trusses and fixing the lights. I have not seen that in India even today. Why is it that in India we cannot do it? You think people over here can't do it? They don't have the skill set, they can't climb up a truss. If me at
Hmm.
58 can climb up a truss, anybody can climb up a truss,
Hmm.
right? Why is it that we are not doing it? Because we are not changing our mindset.
Hmm.
We are not changing our mindset, so we expecting the society around us to change their mindset. How will the society change their mindset? Yeah, if we ourselves are not going to change ourselves, why can't I climb the truss today and fix the lights? Why can't I be tuning that sound system in the sound console and making sure that my artist on stage is comfortable? Why do I have to rely only on one person? It could be a man or a woman. I mean, that's not even important. Why should I have to rely on anybody else? Why can't I do it? So, I feel a lot is on us. And if we make our own change, we sort our head out. I think the society around us will definitely start changing, of course. Like Mamta said and Rumpa said, precedence is very, very significant. We have precedence.
Hmm.
Pratiksha pointed out the names. We have precedence. We have people, we have women talent that have stood out. Like Rumpa said, why do we have a poor representation of women in our industry?
Hmm.
Music industry, we still have a grand representation. What about events and entertainment industry?
Yeah.
In the events industry, it's such a poor representation. Over every like 1,000 or like probably 10,000 men, we have one woman in leadership roles, right? So why? What is it that's stopping women from getting into the industry? What are we scared of? Am I scared of dealing with my service providers? Is a service provider going to take me for a ride? Why should he take me for a ride? I may have to work a little harder than a man because
Mm.
they feel that men can get away with, and I know in the industry, men can get away with a lot more than they feel
Easy.
women are naive.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
huge
true.
thing in the event industry.
Yeah.
Women are naive, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, इसको थोड़ा सा कम ज्यादा भी कर देंगे तो चलेगा.
Mm.
Why can't they negotiate the same way with the man? Because the man will sort them out. We are
Yeah.
just polite, we respect them, we don't use harsh words.
Mm.
But being in the event industry, I've learned a lot of harsh words. And
Mm.
honestly speaking, I mean, a lot of people who meet me now, they say, gosh, you're not the same person anymore. It hardens you up, it teaches you. And I think these things are important for us to bring out. And it's not that these are negative learnings. If I have to be in my industry and I want to make a go of it, I have to learn these things. But I have to learn them my way and I have to learn them with a positive impact on myself and on the people around me.
Mm.
Learning things doesn't mean I have to start yelling at people and creating a ruckus and fighting with the whole world. That's not called learning. I have
Mm.
to learn them to work within my what works best for, and then what am I doing? I'm learning these things, I'm absorbing them, I'm then imparting them further. You
Mm.
become like an example. If you are yourself not confident about being an example, how can you expect people around you to change things? How can I tomorrow sit back and say, hey, I'm talking, Jasvi's on her phone? I can't, because I've been doing
I
exactly the
was
same thing.
calling Ram only that what
I'm
are
just
what.
kidding with you, Jasvi. I'm kidding with you. No, no,
Mm.
all I'm trying to say is that just be a voice and
Mm.
have confidence in yourself. So if the girls in Singapore could climb the trust in 1 hour flat, we had a turnaround from a ballroom setup to a concert setup. We had a
Mm.
huge stage, we had a huge LED, we had lights, sound, trusses within 1 hour. Of course, I have to say, I had like some 20 girls working in one space, and we had some 50 boys working in the other space. Lot of manpower. But that's not the point. The point is that the girls were equally efficient, they were equally adept at doing things. Why don't we have that in India? Why are girls in India even scared to get into music engineering? Why are they scared to learn trussing? So I will share with you. Also on the panel of an institute called AAFT. Okay,
Mm.
it's a Noida-based institute, and they have a program on event management.
Mm.
So they have an online and offline program, and they got a few of us to do some diploma, some papers reading for their online sessions, some lessons. And so I had done it on event security, trusting, and a couple of subjects. I had done about 7, 8 modules for them. Other than the modules which I was teaching, it was a lot of learning for me itself. But I didn't know so much about trussing, which I learned when I was teaching them about trussing, going through those modules, researching on that stuff, and picking up more information. And I know that now you'd be happy to hear this. And Rumpa, you're going to witness this at Kasoli Music Festival, which we're coming up on 29th and 30th of March in Kasoli at Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
I have, out of my volunteers list of 20 volunteers, there are 14 women and 6 boys. And this is not intentional. It's not intentional. It is not that I picked and chose, I have to have more women. No. I had the women who wanted to be part of production. They want to be part of the setup. They want to learn backstage management. They want to learn how the sound system is set up and how the sound is festival sound is very different from tuning a single artist sound. You could be
Mm.
doing the sound engineering for the biggest artist, but it's very different from Pratiksha understands this, right? It's very
Yeah.
different from festival sound. A festival engineer has to be adept at tuning multiple bands at one point of
Sounds.
time, and
Yeah.
then you have 15 minutes of turnaround time and you have to have the band up on stage.
Mm.
So they are interested. So that's the reason why I don't care. I'm going to put them over there in the sound console so they learn. Tomorrow, this is our new generation that's going to be the generation that's leading that industry. Why
Mm.
not? So
Mm.
that's it. It's by example. So we want the media to pick up these kind of things,
Mm.
amplify them, create more inspirational situations where people want to learn more, create that curiosity and examples.
Mm.
Sorry, too much gyan.
No, it's okay. So I would come to that only that, digitization and social media are playing a very major role in this time in the audio business also, and in the, music business too. And in the audio business, podcast is really booming. I would say that Kareena Kapoor also did a podcast, What Women Want. It was a big hit back then. And in today's time also, many of, you know, young budding generational Gen Zs are starting their own podcast and streaming on Spotify, and they are doing so well on that, on YouTube also and on Spotify also. So what all you think, that how does, social media and digital platforms increase their visibility and influence in the music business and the audio business? Both are booming, and radio business is also, have come back. So what you all think about that? Mamta, on to you first. Because it's
Sure.
related to podcasts and audio business. I'll start with you
Thanks.
first.
Although I have a few things to add on
Yeah,
the previous question also, if
yeah,
you may allow
yeah,
me.
yeah,
I
definitely.
think media also has a very big responsibility to educate.
Hmm.
It's not only about just creating stories and making PR successes and making careers for people who are doing their PR well. I think
Hmm.
a moral or a social responsibility that lies in the hand of media is also
Hmm.
about educating.
Yeah.
And till the time we will not put out stories of what is, like how as Nani is speaking about the events industry, and there's so many
Hmm.
things that I am learning today. I think these are exactly the kind of stories that have to be pushed through
Push.
with
Hmm.
from media platforms, because at the end of the day, even for those girls to step out of their homes and be pursuing their dreams in something called a engineering, music composing, how me as a parent, now let's just get into the shoes of the decision makers who are putting in that money to fund the education of their child, how me as a parent would even know that as a sector or as a choice or an option of a profession even exists. So even so we are like kind of backtracking the whole story, and uh, gone are those days. I mean, of course, even for me, when I was kind of the black sheep of the family, when I
Hmm.
took PR,
Oh, wow.
so for first 10 years my parents kept quizzing that, okay, what is the job that you do? We don't understand, because
Hmm.
nobody in the family had ever gotten into media, entertainment, advertising, or public relation,
Hmm.
until I actually, so there's a lot of enrollment of the
Educate.
society and people who is your support group is also required. And how will that happen if there is not enough? Of course, today we have the Googles of the sorts. We have so much that is available online. But I'm saying the narratives actually have to build right from there, where there is a right kind of education also required, because that education is not only for someone who is an aspiring sound engineer. That education is also required for that support group, which is the family, which is going to fund for that educate for that
Hmm.
aspiration of the child. So
Hmm.
media has a multi-layered role to play, so to say. It's not
Hmm.
only about making perceptions and
Yeah,
dooming careers alone.
yeah.
Coming to your question on audio and podcasting, I think it's kind of a golden era for
Yeah.
creators, for podcasters. The need, where it is stemming from is that people have heard too much of media.
Hmm.
The nation wants to know that screaming of voices has really happened a lot in our living rooms. Everybody wants authenticity. So the narrative where it is changing is because so much has been democratized. So when Facebook came in, why people loved Facebook, of course, it was a networking platform, and you could go into your social circles, you could track back a friend that you had lost in your school days or in your college days, and have a virtual profile up and connect back, etc. But people really want to now know that in this virtual world, where we are obviously putting out a lot of virtual imagery, but people are interested to know the authenticity that is behind that imagery.
Hmm.
That is what is propelling the creation of content on platforms, self-publishing platforms like Spotify, etc.
Hmm.
And that is what is really giving a personal voice to every individual. So I have thoughts, I have ideas. There are why I started podcast is what I can answer here is that I had so many internal dialogues, things that I wanted an answer about, things like judgments. A fear of judgment was a very big thing for me in my life. I have stopped myself a lot, basis that fear. So much so that even pivoting from audio to video was a huge
You.
turnaround for me, because exactly what Rupa said, that I didn't want that people come looking for my podcast, looking at my face.
Hmm. Yeah.
I wanted to create genuine good content which inspire people. So that's the reason why I started my audio journey. Cut to 1 year of creating audio, and then you see there's a lot of demand that is coming from the market, and everybody's saying, why aren't you putting out videos? You should be doing videos. I said, one, I'm camera conscious, and second, I don't want to do anything basis my face value. And then spat came the reply that why not? If you can carry yourself in front of camera, that's also a skill, that's also
Yeah.
a talent. And why would you not? What is stopping you to let the world judge you on that? Let them judge. They will judge you no matter what you do. You're good at it, you're bad at it, they'll judge you, right? So at least you do what you are meant to, or what you are capable of doing, to 100%. And that kind of changed the whole internal dialogue for me as well. So I think, again, coming back to the point of content creation on digital platform, radio. See, these self-publishing platforms are obviously giving you a gateway, and
Visible.
social media is giving you a voice to then amplify. And like, I'm also whatever community of the podcast that I have created has all happened at the back of my LinkedIn profile or my Instagram profile. So one is that a democratic right to go and publish what you want to at a domain which is freely or reasonably available for you, and then it has a huge distribution benefit. Like, my podcast has actually gone to New York, Washington. I've received queries from Canada, Australia, in a matter of just 6 months. Who would have thought that? Like, I would have never thought that, okay, 6 or 8 episodes into the show, and I would have an audience coming globally. So that's another sort of a layer, which kind of allows so much of distribution, and a very democratic build up, like a very authentic and organic build up of your content. So maybe my some of my content might or might not resonate with a specific demographic of an audience, but perhaps there is an audience for it somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Pratiksha, what will you add to that?
Hi. So I really got lost in what ma'am was saying. Can you repeat the question, please?
So, we are talking about the audio business and the social media and how digitization has, changed its
Yes.
whole scene in today's time. Like podcast is back, radio is back again.
Yes,
So,
yes,
what do you think
definitely.
about that?
I think, I mean, earlier I used to be a little reluctant to admit this, that this is the time of social media. And
Mhm.
if you have to make an impact, you really have to be there
There.
in today's time. But now definitely I am all about social media now, because it's not just about what people are telling me. If someone else comes up to me and says, see, you are not popular on, say, reels, so you have to make an impact there. Then
Yeah.
people are going to get that curiosity, and then they're going to check out your music. That audience on reels is going to be directed to your, say, Spotify, etc.
Mhm. Mhm.
Earlier I was like, what is this? I am making art. Why is reels have to be this parameter of my all that, judgment and everything? But I think it's great, because we see not just in music. I follow so many people on social media who are not musicians. They are just lifestyle creators. They are very informative, giving out information. There's a lot of humor which I love on social media. Everything is now related to humor and memes. Everything has a very light joke about it, which everybody relates to, and people unite on that. Even
Mhm.
in podcasts, people tend to remember those lighter moments, and then they tend to talk about it. Even on social media, that carries forward. And I'm really happy that the radio culture is back, because yeah,
Mhm.
it's of course I'm a musician, so it's a very nice thing that's happened.
Mhm.
But yeah, social media is very, very influential for me as an audience, for me as a creator.
Artist.
And if I
Mhm.
understand both these aspects, then I'm always going to consider the social media as a boon. I don't want to get into all the other things that happen. See, there is a
Fully.
lot. The people like my nephews, they are like 10, 11 years old. They don't know if the other person is not even singing right. Sometimes I really see
Pratikshha,
absolutely
I would
non-singers.
like you to ask
Yeah.
specifically, as you are a singer and songwriter,
Yeah.
you face a lot of trolling also in these times. So how do you, overcome that?
There's definitely a lot of trolling, a lot, and it just keeps increasing if you focus on that. So what I do is I just don't look at the comments now, because as long as I'm not doing that's harming the sentiments, I
Hmm.
think it's okay. Because the trolling culture, what I've seen, especially in the past, say 2 years,
2 years
has
have
really
increased.
increased a lot, a lot. So I can't fight people. Earlier, I used to like reply to the comments. No, this is not that. That is not this. But now I'm like just shutting up the comments. So yeah, what I'm saying is the taste of the Gen Z is very different from the taste of my cousins, right?
Yeah.
So I'm 25, so I am like in between the two. So I can no longer ignore the interests of the Gen Z, right? If they want to talk about real things, I it's my duty as a content creator to cater to that and incorporate that in my music.
I think in that term,
Otherwise,
I come in Gen Z because I'm 23.
yeah. Yeah. So, even my nephews and nieces, they all talk about this. We like this artist. Why do they like that artist? That artist, for me, in a musical point of view, that artist is not a great singer,
Hmm.
not a great instrumentalist also, but somewhat something is connecting with his music or his art on social media with his viewers or her viewers. Why is that happening?
Hmm.
So it's very influential for me as an audience also. I would say that again, it's very influential. I follow certain people, I check out some people's profiles. Why do I do that? It is so influential, it inspires me. There is n number of things on social media today that we can take inspiration from, and we can learn, and we can again do our own thing also. So this is the time of social media, and digitalization is, if you actually look at it for why it has been created, it is a boon for everybody, I think
Hmm.
so.
So, Rumpa, what will you add to that?
Yeah, social media digitalization has empowered all of us, right?
Yeah.
And with empowerment comes a lot of responsibility. So
Hmm.
it is very important for all of us who are creators and are on the social media or these platforms to be sure that what we are today we have we see a boom of creators because of the social media and YouTube, where you can go back and upload your own content or songs, open your channel. Because earlier it was that somebody had to select you as a
Hmm.
lyricist or a composer, or they a label or someone chose you to for a project, and then you got the
Network is weak.
I think she's frozen.
Mm-hmm. Nani ma'am, you added to her.
Okay, so typically getting back to social media and digital media, so I definitely say that it plays a major, major role now, especially in times of today, and from various perspectives.
Hmm.
Of course, you have to use it sensibly, and you need to, I mean, like Rumpa rightly said, it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Responsibility.
And it's up to an individual how you want to take it. You can treat it just like a tool and just have fun and make stupid remarks, or you can actually absorb a lot more information, like Pratiksha said. Like
Hmm.
she's following people because she wants to get more information on what is going right for them, wants to learn from whatever is happening and stuff, and also keeps you up to date with what's happening across the world. Even if there's something interesting that you are doing as a person, you want to share it out with people, and you're not sharing it out with people from the perspective, oh wow, like, oh how nice, or how. That's not what you're really looking for. You want to share it out with people because somewhere along the line, there will be people who will probably either get more knowledge out of that, or they'll be able to tell you some things more. And so it's totally up to you. You can treat it responsibly. You can use it in many ways. I know there are many people who say social media is a waste of time. Yes, depends on how much time you want to spend on it. And also depends on how you're using it.
Hmm.
Honestly speaking, I feel social media has brought the world together. Today, we don't end up meeting with our friends, our family for years, but
Yeah.
we are totally up to date with what's
Video
happening
call.
in their lives, their
Hmm.
children, when they come here, when they're in India, or we go to meet up with them wherever they are in any part of the world, that gap has gone. So, it's in many ways, I think social media is a big responsibility. It can be misused immensely, yes. But I think that is where all of us need to step in and use it sensibly. And yes, again, social media again has the word media in it, and I have seen how it can make you and break you.
Hmm.
So if you're responsible, you use it well, it can really work as a very, very good tool for you.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, Pratiksha, you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, people evaluate talent basis social media followings, which I think
It's not
mindset needs to
fair.
change. And it's really not fair. I know how many people from the event industry or from the music industry, they're hardly on social media. They don't even care if they've got like, 4,000, 3,000 followers. They don't really care. But if you've got 1 million followers, oh wow. Oh, this particular thing of yours has 1 million likes. It's such a big deal that my
Okay.
song got 1 million likes or views. And when you actually come down to the likes of that song, there'll be some 12. So you know exactly where those came from.
Yeah.
So point is, let's not destroy it by misusing it like that because it impacts the entire industry. It's not just impacting that one person, it impacts the whole space of social media. But yes, it's a very, very powerful tool. And Rupa said that at the start. It's like anything that's so powerful comes with a lot of responsibility.
So
So
what
it's
will
a,
you add, Rumpa ma'am?
yeah, Rumpa, you
So,
froze,
yeah,
so we
sorry.
continued on the thing.
No, I'm so sorry, I got kind of disconnected. And thank you, Nani ma'am, for continuing what I started to say. Yes, responsibility I was talking about. So what I was trying to like say over here is that so like earlier you had someone like selecting your talent, but now you have the tools and the kind of opportunities to go out and kind of have your talent out to the world. But you have to be conscious because see what I see is that when you create something, it's your own baby.
Hmm.
And nobody wants to accept the fact that no, my baby is not good enough because you're the creator. You cannot accept the fact. But then, yes, obviously the audience will decide. So be very conscious about what you are creating, how you are utilizing the platforms. And it is very easy to get addicted to these platforms. So you have to. So I was part of one session and conversation earlier, like last year, where they were saying that see, social media is today a must. You cannot, as a creator, as an entertainment person, or in the media industry, you cannot avoid social media. A lot of times in my family also, my husband tells me, "Oh, I see you always on Facebook and Insta." I said, "I don't do it because I want to kind of I just want to be on Insta and Facebook because my members, my artists, my community is there. So I have to be updated on what is happening there in their lives. So it is very easy to get addicted. So you have to consciously use that medium for your work only and switch off when it is not needed. Like define few hours in the day if that works, that this is the time I will be on social media. I will come to do this thing and then I will be out of social media. Don't get addicted. And the one more thing is I say everybody, all of us put the best thing out on social media that everything is so happy, everything is so good happening in my life, everything is successful. So you start doubting yourself. Am I the only person who is a loser? Am I the person who is in misery? Everyone is having such a affluential life and everything is so good for them. They're getting all the opportunities. Don't get carried away with that. But have the confidence in yourself. No, like don't doubt your kind of your talent, your abilities, and use social media for the purpose you want to. And it is also important because I see a lot of women um, putting out a lot of like her pictures, what she's wearing, where she's going. Just think, is it required? What image are you building of yourself on social media? That is very important today for any women. That this was how people will perceive you or build an impression about you on how you are behaving on that
Hmm.
platform. Today, your personal life is out there. So be very conscious. Tomorrow, don't come and say that, oh, people are talking this about me. They're
Hmm.
talking because you like allow them to talk about you like in that way. So
Hmm.
be very conscious and carry yourself with a lot of grace as you carry yourself.
She left. I think her network is too weak, I would say.
Yeah, she just dropped out. I think she'll join
Hmm.
back again.
Yeah, she'll run back.
I can add to that,
Yeah,
Ojasvi, one
definitely.
last bit that, as someone who's also a marketer at heart, um,
Yeah.
how we should also be looking at social media is more like a show window.
Hmm.
No,
Mm,
it's a great way to maintain a profile where you are letting people know what you're up to, what you're doing, what you're competent of, how are you conducting and going about your work, largely work, I would say. But this is only a perception building tool at the end of the day. This is not who you really become. So it should not, the results, as in whether you get the likes, whether you get the following, whether you get the shares or not, that should be very, very immaterial. So you have to really use social media with a lot of detachment in that sense. You should not make it a point that,
Take it
oh,
too
all
hard.
my validation or all my
Yeah.
credibility or everything is coming from here. It is just a show window at the end of the day.
Hmm. True, true, true. So, Rumba ma'am, I would like you to ask and comment on this part of my question is that I said that social media is playing a very major role and stuff like that for the, audio and music business. But nowadays, music royalties and music rights are equally important for an artist because I was talking to an artist. I would not name him, but he said we register our lyrics and stuff with IPRS in these times because it is very important for us you to maintain that that music copyright is so important in these times. So what all you will like to add on this?
Yeah, see today, like people are like creating content and how. So there was a kind of a study which said that going forward, like every household in India will have one creator at least.
Yeah.
So when you're creating so much of content, and each piece of content is actually an intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to music, like restricting the conversation around music. See, we
Yeah.
are always so careful about any property that we buy. When you buy a house or even a 1 BHK flat, you 10 times go to the registrar, you get all the papers, sale deed, agreement, to go through it 10 times, even go to a lawyer to go through the clauses, then sign, then to like to the registration, so that nobody can tomorrow come and like doubt your ownership or kind
Yeah.
of counter your ownership of property, even a car or whatever you buy. But unfortunately, creators in our country are not aware that the content created are also properties, intellectual properties, and can become more kind of it become more valuable than even a flat or a house or an apartment. Like if it is successful, so they are very kind of they are very casual because the awareness is not there. So every time you create a content, you create a music, it is very important that your metadata means your title of the song, your role in the song, whether you're author, composer, or whatever role is yours in the song, is properly mentioned because that is your credit. If the credit is not there today, there is no physical evidence of your song. Everything is on the cloud. It is going to all the streaming platforms. So if your credit is missing in any of these songs, then tomorrow you cannot go and claim your monies. You cannot claim your royalties because the royalties only come to you if your song is playing. So the first thing is that you have to create great content. It is not that I release any content and it starts making money. It doesn't happen like that. It has to be popular. People have to listen it multiple times and see it multiple times. Then only revenue gets generated on these different platforms. Once the revenue is generated, it comes back to the authors, the lyricists, the composers, and those who are creating, the original creators, and the music label. So it is very important to see the content is right and it is uploaded properly with your metadata and it is registered
Mm-hmm.
with the copyright society. Because a copyright society like IPRS, it is responsible for licensing. Because as an individual, how many places will you go with how many kind of meet like YouTube, Facebook, will you go and like crack the deals? Hey, you're playing 10 songs, pay me this money. It's not possible for each and every individual to go and do that. So hence the concept of copyright society who do collective licensing. This is called collective licensing, where IPRS is going and representing all its members, all its author, composer, publisher members, going to each and every business houses, platforms, live events, everywhere to license the music, get the money back to its members as royalties. So so the moment you're releasing your song, it is extremely important you come back and get your songs registered with IPRS. Join a copyright body like IPRS, get your songs registered. Tomorrow, if there is any conflict, so yesterday I was in Chandigarh, so there are few of the like author composer like creators who are not yet members of IPRS. They are coming and saying that, hey, I had distributed my music through this distributor, but now I see my names are not there on Spotify or any other platform. So what do I
Mm-hmm.
do? I said, immediately go and check your contract. What was the contract when you did this work with them? And if in the contract it is you are the lyricist and the composer and your name is not there, then go and check with the author, like with the distributing platform, why it is missing on the on these platforms. Then he's saying, yes, I spoke to them. They are telling me you have given the ownership right to us. So much of ignorance, so much of lack of awareness is there in the country. People are distributing is just you are not giving the ownership. You are just giving that person to distribute. The way earlier days people used to sell CDs and cassettes. So from the factory, the CD and cassette used to go to the retail stores. Distribution is just that. You are not giving out your like giving over your ownership rights. You are just telling that person, the distributor, to distribute the song. The ownership is with the creator. But here he doesn't know what contract he signed. Now the distributor is saying, I have the ownership right. It is my music. Your name will not come. That is how the agreement was there with you. So as all of us have been discussing, we need to attend this. As like Pratiksha said, a lot of these sessions are today happening. Go and attend these sessions, talk to IPRs, come to IPRs, join IPRs, and get yourself abreast with all this knowledge. Today, music and music business, the line between those two has blurred. If you are a creator, you cannot only say that I am a creator, I don't know the business side or I don't understand legal matters. Either have someone whom you can absolutely rely on, that is very difficult to get in life today. Just understand. You don't need to do it yourself, but
Yeah, definitely.
have the understanding so that you can ask those right questions when you are meeting a distributor, a publisher, or any stakeholder in the music industry. And if people know that you are well aware, well informed, they will also be careful when they are doing business with you. Just be informed and reach out for help. There are good people in the industry, genuine people in the industry who will help you. Reach out for help. Don't think that I am helpless. If you reach out for help, only then you will get help. So
Definitely.
be very careful about your music, and those are your very precious intellectual properties.
Yeah, you're right.
And
That
we
was
have our office all
very
across in
easy.
India. Don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my final question to you, to everybody, is like,
I just want
what?
to, sorry, I'm just going to add one thing, and I know Pratiksha has
Yeah.
also raised her hand to what Roompa just said, and this is not just for women perspective. I'm just saying as I also happen to be part of EMA Artist Committee and stuff, and so there are a lot of artists we are connected with. I would definitely say that what Roompa has just spoken is very, very important information, and we are trying to bring this into the folk artists of India, because what's happening is with the folk artists, they are not aware and how their music is being manipulated in our industry. Their pieces are, they are creators. They're just simple creators. They're asked to play pieces on their instruments. They're asked to sing alaps. They're absorbed by so many senior music composers. These guys just are paid like some 500, 1,000, whatever, not even 1,000, I think 500, 600 rupees. And, it's like, ye baja ke hame de dijiye types. So that is where IPRS comes in, to tell them that, listen, I mean, and it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the richest person on this earth, you could be nothing at all. It doesn't make any difference. Point is, music is music. You're a musician, you're a creator. You are creating something. You're making a composition, you're creating music. You deserve to be paid for it. It is yours. You deserve to own it. And that is why this is like, I'm really glad we're having this conversation. Rumpal brought it up. So they've been doing sessions all over the country,
Yeah.
and we've been pushing people also, like telling people about it, because I think it's extremely important for a creator to understand that this is your product and you need to save it. And especially where women artists are concerned, many times we get complacent because we feel that, I have no rights. I've sung the song, and oh, okay, fine, somebody will just tell me somewhere, or like I've composed the music, somebody will tell me somewhere what to do. But just go here, yeah. Just let them tell you how to save your own music, save whatever you have created.
Mm-hmm. So, Mamta, what will you add on that?
Yeah, thanks for giving me the chance. See, a lot is not it is in the gray area realm as far as podcasts are concerned. I'm sure there will be a point where Ministry of Information Broadcasting will step in. There will be rules, there will be mandates which will be issued out. Till so far, it's a self-publishing platform where creators are putting out whatever they're putting out, be it Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. However, the platforms do allow you for descriptions, show descriptions. So, be it if you are managing your own distribution or even if you're hiring a podcast agency, it's absolutely imperative. And just adding to what Rupa said, even though it's not such an organized sector so far, it's
Hmm.
absolutely imperative that you do take the credit for the mention wherever the show gets published, for the curation of the content which belongs to you. Also, in addition to that, read into your contracts very, very in a very astute way. So, if you like, my show gets managed by podcast agencies, right? So, reading into those contracts is an absolute must because this clause of IPR is where things can change. So if they are publishing your content from their own platform, so it's because a lot of these podcast agencies have their own platform, like their own website, their own social media. From there, also they are pushing the content out to get you a double benefit or more exposure, etc. Don't compromise on those credits. It's an absolutely must that a creator understands that, because a lot of times we just in the passion of creating or creation, we are just so overwhelmed with our own passion that we don't look into these finer details, and that is what we need to perhaps educate ourselves. And in some ways we also have to lead, because there aren't people who may be doing that. You may not have the right kind of understanding or education also available. But because, just as how very rightly Rupa said, that any property that you're creating, then safeguarding, owning, legality is your own thing. So you have to be very robust, at least as far as your own mechanism is concerned, that okay, all the scripts that you're writing, all the content you're publishing, all the descriptions that you're writing, you are keeping that right to yourself, and making those due mentions that this belongs to this person, and the profile is attached, and the link profile is given in the description below, etc. So there is no forgery, and there's no duplication, or there's no eating into your content or theft of content that is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, Pratiksha, on to you now.
So as I mentioned, actually I wanted to ask Rampa ma'am about something, but I think there's a network issue. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I recently attended this workshop on rights and royalties, and
Oh.
it came as a it came as a surprise to me, because even after doing contracts and agreements for so many years, there were so many aspects of the royalty and licensing system that I wasn't aware of. And I always used to think that, okay, in India, it's not that well organized. So we can never really be earning a lot, earning enough from the royalties, even if I have a number of releases. But when I actually got down to understand how this works, and there is so many facilities in this regard for the creators of a piece of art, music. So then I understood that how important it is. And let me tell you, even if I sit with like, even if I bring 10 musicians in this room who are doing really well in the independent music scene, I can bet that 8 out of 10 don't know about what I have read and understood in that workshop. So it is really, it's all there for us. As they've said, that it's there in a box kept for us. The royalties are kept for us, but we are not accessing them. We are not there to open that box and take the money or whatever it is. So that it's all about awareness. People just, since matlab, we don't think that it's important right now. As I mentioned, 8 out of 10 people in this room won't understand what it is and how much money they are actually leaving out even after so many releases. But it's very important, and I think today's age and time, again I would say, everything is accessible. And IPRS, let's talk about IPRS for now, because it really took an initiative, I think last year, to like literally come in the limelight once again. That's when I got to know about a thing called IPRS and a thing called royalties and license. I always used to think that this is all the
Hmm.
work of label owners and they have the right. I never thought that, okay, this is my right as well. I didn't even know that. And nobody even told me. Why would they, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, this is again, apart from social media, this is something that we should really focus on, because
Hmm.
social media now everybody knows it's happening, it's there. But about rights, licensing, royalty, the different types of royalties, mechanical publishing, sync licensing. I recently got to know that you should register yourself as a publisher also. on IPRS if you are like doing independent music. So I wanted to talk about that with Rampa ma'am and understand more of that. So yeah, all these things I have recently started learning and it's very exciting. But I also am able to understand now how much of money that I think I was making, I was not. It was already there in a plate for me, but only because of my lack of knowledge, I could not access that. But now I can, thankfully.
Hmm. Yeah,
Just
definitely.
just one thing before we wrap this
Yeah.
discussion. See, it is a kind of a personal investment.
Oh.
So how we hire an accountant, we have to, as creators or artists, we have to give in that kind of investment, or we will have to make that effort. That even for our legal rights, we go to the right counsel, we inquire, we be curious, we be a learner. Because it's as much as like an entrepreneurship. You are your own brand, you are your own product. So if you are putting your ideas, thoughts, creation out there in the market, you cannot just go with that, okay, something will happen and then I will do it. It has to be a very proactive approach where you are investing in a legal counsel, have a legal advisor who could take you through on all these knowledge, and then of course be investing yourself, like how Pratiksha is saying that she's been attending these kind of seminar or workshops. We have to constantly as an entrepreneur be doing that for ourselves.
Definitely, definitely. It was very insightful from everybody out here. So my final question to everyone will be that what actionable steps can, individuals and organizations can take to ensure women's voices are heard and respected in all facets of the industry, and what we can expect in 2024 in audio and music business finally. So I'll start with Nanima.
Okay, so I can't believe we've all been talking for 1 hour, 45 minutes already.
Yeah.
But I have to say that it's been extremely insightful especially for me too, to
Mm,
learn so much from everybody else's industry. And now, when it comes to any corporate, any person in the industry, I think first and foremost is respect the woman for what she's doing. I
mm,
think if we've crossed that barrier, rest everything else is much simpler. So, if like we say, we want to earn respect, we need to also give respect.
yeah.
You cannot command respect, right?
Mm,
So we need to do stuff where we can earn respect from people, from our peers, from people around us, from other associates, whether men or women. And it's a known fact. Bollywood has proved it over and over again. Our television serial industry has proved it over and over again that a woman is the one who puts another woman down.
mm,
Okay, so I think that itself needs to change. That itself needs to change. We need to respect each other for the talent that anybody has. We have need to respect each other for, I think the moment that happens, everything else around you becomes simpler. That is one. Sorry, I've lost the connection with your, I think, senior moment. I lost your question. But typically, basically, making it a better place for women to stay, women to be in, and yes, I think first is respect. Two is creating more opportunities instead of taking them away. Many times it's just automatically assumed that this is a woman and she won't be able to do it. There are many mindsets that we have कि शाम का setup है, अरे लड़कियों को मत भेजो. Why not, yeah? Why can't they go? Why can't, as a responsible event person, I create a safe place so that my women can work over there? So
mhm,
that is where my responsibility comes in, and I make sure whether I have security, whether I have whatever, I make sure that my girls are able to work at night so that they take over with responsibility. If
mm,
a guy can sit up till 4 a.m. during a setup, a girl can definitely sit up till 4 a.m. and they have done that. So
mm.
the point is that first of all,
Wonderful.
trust. Second is confidence. Third is your skill set. I think if you can do all that, automatically people around you will start respecting that. And that is the mindset change that I feel we very strongly need to bring around in the society. It is already happening. It's not that it's happening. And honestly, over the last few years that I've seen, every year has only become better.
Mm,
Women in the industry that were there 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I remember when I started showcase events, 2018, we were still not that many women that
mm,
were in the events industry, and how many more? And when I say how many more that have come up, they're not just random. It's actually genuinely good talent in the industry. So it's like I marvel at the kind of work that they are producing because they're creators. They're all creators. Only that we can't be IPRist creators. Unfortunately, our work doesn't get IPRist. But yes, I mean, point is that, you know, have confidence in yourself and you will get opportunities. So those opportunities have started coming. I see a great future already in 2024, and I think it's only going to get better with time. It's only going to get better because women have got a voice. Media has given them a voice. You guys have amplified the voice. And I think that effort needs to continue. If that happens, I think this gender gap will also reduce over the period of time. In the future
Definitely.
generations to come, I think they're already very conscientious about it.
Hmm. Rumba, what will you add
Yeah,
to that?
back to you.
Yeah. So what I believe as industry stakeholders, or if you are part of the industry and you believe in what you are saying, and if you're trying to do something, do it genuinely. Don't do it namesake. Suppose I say, okay, tomorrow I will give opportunity to a female like composer, but I don't create a very conducive environment for her to work in the studio. So if you are trying to do something, do it genuinely and create all the possible, like not only opportunity, but an environment for her to work properly. Secondly, as Nandi ma'am very rightly said that today live event industry is like again post pandemic is growing very big. So we need support from the industry, from our government and other related bodies where we can make the place safe for a woman.
Hmm.
If it is a very late night show, or it is like going to the wee hours of the morning and she has to come back from a place, as a society, as a kind of as administration, do we have that kind of facility for us? In one of our panels, I think 2 years back, we had few of the composers on the panel who said that yes, I'm a sound engineer, or I'm a music producer, but in the studio there is no proper kind of a toilet or a place where I can just go and rest because I'm working 24 hours or 36 hours. A guy can just go and lie down anywhere on the sofa, but as a woman, still now a room full of boys, how will I just go and lie down? So yes, you have given that opportunity to that sound engineer who is a lady, but is the environment safe for her, or kind of she's comfortable there? Do it genuinely and provide the required facilities. The second thing is that we as women, when we are voicing the concern, talking so much about it,
Hmm.
who we could do something, or we were fortunate to get those platform and opportunity in our life, let us take a kind of a conscious effort to also kind of pull up few women we know who are good from our end, because yeah, we can always blame who is not doing, like men are not supporting, but I think yes, all successful women do also have successful men behind them, be it
Hmm.
a father or a husband. They have been like supporting you, and hence you could do it, or your son even. So if we have been able to do it, let us take that initiative to like be there for few other women and make a real difference in their life. That is what I believe should be that effort from my end.
Hmm. Mamta ma'am, and
Sorry,
you.
I'm just going to butt in 1 second before Mamta comes in. And so just adding to this, there's a very, very nice ad by Spotify these days. Spotify is doing some wonderful ads these days.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's not Spotify. It is, forget it. Anyway, whichever brand. So it is about this woman, how efficiently she's managing things and she's moving around, and she's managing work, she's hosting a party at home, she's doing all that, right? At the end of the day, and this woman is saying, look at how she goes to work, she's so careful about her aunt's birthday, she's like got her children's tiffin being done, her husband's dinner being done, all that stuff. She just comes and sits down on the chair and she's saying, bas bhi karo. She's saying, you're a superwoman. She's saying, I'm also human. And I
Hmm.
think that is one aspect that gets forgotten somewhere along the line. Over to
Like
you.
also one more thing, just from my experience, because I have been like we have been veterans and kind of oldies now. So
Hmm.
what I've not seen in many families and in our society is celebrating the work of a woman in the family, like at the family level also. As a mom or as a wife, you're judged whether you can like cook well or not, like whether you're a good cook or not. I remember my son was very young, 4 year, 5 years old. Said, "You are not, you don't look like a mommy because you don't make my meals." You're not a mommy. You're not my mommy. I said, why? But I'm like taking you to school. I'm like helping you with your studies. We are having so much fun. And I'm buying you like whatever you need. No, no, no. Moms are not like that. So like what I started doing is that I started taking him along with me to different places where I am going for my work, say to a studio or to an event or to a conference. So he started realizing that yes, my mom is also doing which is meaningful, because like till now in many places the woman is not the sole breadwinner of a family. So even if she is earning, it is seen that okay, you're doing to buy your cosmetics and your fancy clothes and all, but you're not still seen as yes, you are contributing meaningfully to the family. But it's slowly changing. But we don't celebrate enough of women's work, like within the, we don't talk about the women's work within the family. Hey, you're doing this, it is really good, it's a kind of a good feat that you have achieved. Let's start doing that. Then your kids will also start respecting you, your society, your family, the entire like people around will start seeing you from a different lens.
Mamta, what will you add to that?
I think it's a very beautiful culmination of all my thoughts also, what Rumpa and Naniji, they are resonating with. Yeah, so couple of key points. Inclusion. Inclusion not from the point of कि मैं women हूँ और मुझे इस job में include करना है. Inclusion from the point of that let them know who you are.
Yeah.
In your narrative and story, include them. Let them know what struggles and challenges and fears and failures and trials and turbulations are you going through to make where you want to, where your dreams and aspirations are. Choose your battles. To be a perfect cook, is it really my aspiration? Or to or have I educated myself to do something much more in life? So pick your battles. Judge yourself less. So even if you can't, like how, even Pratiksha said in the earlier conversation, that how men are keeping that focus is because they are not judging themselves if things around them are not clean, or there is a towel that is thrown on the bed, or everything is not impeccable. They're not judging and making themselves responsible for that. I think these are the things that we have assumed as a gender for ourselves. कि अच्छा बहुत ही एस्पायर करती है तो घर तो साफ नहीं रहता होगा, या घर इसलिए साफ नहीं रहता है क्योंकि ये तो चली जाती है. सो इंक्लूड everyone in your success. Take everyone along, and that is how we are going to rear a generation of change. The change, of course, will start with me first. I cannot wait for others to give me the best, for me to perform or for me to chase or be where I want to be. But I can change my own internal dialogue, the disempowering dialogues and context that I have created. कि अगर मैं ये नहीं करूंगी तो फिर मैं अच्छी ये नहीं बनूंगी, और ये नहीं करूंगी तो. So there is no perfect idea of anything, be it any gender, a man or a woman. So let's not unnecessarily delve into or allow ourselves these internal dialogues, which are anyway not taking us anywhere. Right. So that, and yes, include them, because until I actually started getting my mother on my press conferences, she did not understand my job profile. It took me at least 5 different conferences around the country to take her along, to actually show her what my work involved. It was not all that glamour and hunky-dory and fancy. There was a lot of hard work, being on your feet, which obviously she could appreciate much later. So be it your husbands, be it your sons, be it your daughters, and it's so uncanny that we are speaking just the same language what I was talking 2 days back on a LinkedIn live audio which I was conducting. And an editor of a leading publication, she said the same thing, that my victories are not celebrated enough. So don't wait for that celebration, right? You celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So begin with yourself. I think that's the perfect place to be.
Pratiksha, what will you add to that?
I'm just nodding my head in agreement actually, because yes, I agree. Self talk is very important. My mother used to say this. She still does. She transformed from an aspiring IPS officer to getting married suddenly and then trying to learn things, not getting back to IPS, but other things, computer and music. But somehow she couldn't juggle. And later, when we grew up, she started running her own business. And I've always seen the lack of support, forget appreciation, the lack of basic support. I've always seen that, always. Always, even though we went to Little Champs, we had some sort of, kya kehte, TV celebrity sort of a vibe back in 2009, because in 2009 reality shows were really booming, and just one or two reality shows, so people really remembered the faces and everything was happening. But still, when I looked at, like, I was being appreciated, my father was being appreciated for the work he's doing, there were certificates. But when I looked at my mom, her certificates, they were not in that frame. And who had kept it aside? My mom only kept it aside. शी यूज्ड टू से, अरे यहाँ क्यों रखना है, हाँ ठीक है, चलो मैं जा रही हूँ, अब मैं ये कर देती हूँ, तुम्हारे कपड़े कहाँ है, तुम्हारा खाना कहाँ है. सो इट्स नॉट अबाउट दैट, इट्स अबाउट हर ओन गिल्ट की, अरे वो बाहर से तो आई है, उन्होंने काम किया, उन्होंने सर्टिफिकेट लेके आई है, बट अरे मेरे बच्चे भूखे हैं, उन्होंने कुछ खाया नहीं. कुछ बना लेंगे बच्चे, पापा बना लेंगे, ठीक है, इट्स ओके. सो देन लेटर व्हेन माय मॉम सॉ कि उन्होंने सब करके देख लिया, बट देयर इज नो अप्रिसिएशन, नो सपोर्ट, देन शी रियलाइज द पावर ऑफ सेल्फ टॉक. वो खुद से ही इतना बोलती हैं, इतना गिल्ट में रहती हैं, और खुद को ना वो अक्यूज करती हैं ऑफ थिंग्स दैट शी शुड नेवर बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर, नेवर. So then she started literally in front of me. She used to tell me, see how I'm talking to myself in the mirror. It might sound dramatic, but it has done wonders for me. This is the only reason I have had sort of developed that conviction in me. And चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, I have always, like, in an environment or a situation, no matter where I am, कितना बड़ा इंसान मेरे सामने खड़ा हो, but if I am not okay with something, even if I like, I can always put it out in a manner which is not disrespectful also, but I always make sure that the other person knows that I'm not okay with it, in a very respectful manner. But I need to make sure that वो message पहुंच चुका है उन तक, that I am not okay with this, and we need to draw a line here, and now you need to stop talking and I need to start speaking, because this is something that I have come for. So all that attitude, that confidence, that self talk, that respect and love for my own self, that is very important. That willingness to embrace my imperfection, that is also very important. I've got everything, all of that from my mother. I'm still learning. I keep watching documentaries and hearing all you respected ladies, it inspires me even more, and I'm learning a lot today. So I think, yeah, I would really agree with ma'am that it starts from within, and agar yahan se ho raha hai, so sooner or later you are definitely going to get there. That's what I truly believe in.
Yeah.
So, Prateeksha, can you sing two lines for Women's Day special? Anything regarding Women's Day?
Yeah, of
Thanks
course.
to her. Let's listen to her.
So I'm not sure if the lyrics are right, but there's this two lines from by Sunidhi Chauhan. Hmm. पिंजरा तोड़ के उड़ जाना है, पिंजरा तोड़ के उड़ जाना है, बाहें खोल के उड़ जाना है, बाहें खोल के उड़ जाना है. That's it. Happy
Thank
Women's Day.
you. Thank you so much. So, thank you everybody for your time. It was our pleasure to have you all here on this very special day. A very happy Women's Day to everybody. And I hope you have a great day ahead. Enjoy yourself and celebrate yourself every day, everybody out here. And hashtag unstoppable women. And keep celebrating yourself. Thank you so
Sure.
much,
Thank you
everybody.
so
Thank
much.
you,
Thank you,
Jasvi, and thank you, everyone. And we're
Thank
super
you so
connecting
much.
with everyone here. And happy Women's Day.
Happy
Happy
Women's
Women's
Day
Day.
once
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you.
Celebrate
Bye.
yourself. Bye.